Trees that can be found in Nevada. So here we have the bristlecone pine, which is the state tree of Nevada. It is the oldest tree that we know of, and it's debated as to whether it is the oldest living thing on Earth. It's rivaled by a bush in the Mojave Desert that grows old by cloning itself off of its root structure, but the bristlecone pine, it grows as a tree usually in high altitudes and with cold, windy, very harsh environments. It can grow in less harsh environments, but it's very different. Now, speaking about growth rate, it's very slow. This causes it to have dense wood. There can be years where it doesn't even register a ring of growth, and so these trees are very old and very big. And they're named after their cones, which have bristles on them. Their cones are actually purple and can live on the tree for up to 2 years until they turn brown, and that's when they are done. This here is one of my personal favorite trees, the ponderosa pine. Ponderosa pines can live up to be 600 years old, and they can grow up to 230 feet tall and up to 6.5 feet in diameter. So they're pretty big, right? And another interesting thing about these trees is that the bottom half of their trunk can usually be branchless. In fact, you might hear stories about people first coming west and they go through these forests that they can ride through on their horse without getting their hat knocked off by the branches. And so they usually grow at elevations between sea level and 9,800 feet. And my favorite part about this tree is if you lightly scratch the bark, there's going to be a very sweet smell. So some people say it smells like caramel, vanilla, but it's very unique to the person what it smells like, but it always smells very good. So this is the Douglas fir. Now the needles on Douglas fir can hang on for up to 8 years and can be up to an inch long. Something interesting about the Douglas fir is that the needles are blunt and kind of soft compared to other pine trees. And the funny thing is, a Douglas fir is actually not even a fir. It's pseudotsuga, which is the same as saying like fake or imposter hemlock, and this has been its own genus created just for this, and it's because there's been debate over the years as to what kind of tree it actually is, what classification, all that, but they decided on pseudotsuga. And then the story behind the cones of the Douglas fir is actually really great, and I recommend you look it up. For the basic one though, because there are a couple of different versions, but basically the story goes that there was a big fire in the western area and all the animals were running around, they didn't know what to do, and the mice, they were running around to the different trees seeing if the trees could help them, and the Douglas fir said, yeah, you can climb up into my cones and be safe from the fire. And that's why when you look at their cones, it kind of looks like the bottom part of a mouse. Utah juniper. Now you might read that and think, what? I thought we were talking about Nevada trees. And we are. The Utah juniper can actually be found in several states, including Utah and Nevada. Lives to be between 350 to 700 years old and prefers elevations around 4,500 to 7,000 feet above sea level. It lives in very harsh conditions where it can be very cold at night or in the winter, very hot during the day or in the summer, and it can withstand very extreme conditions, including drought. Now, you might be interested to know that the roots of the Utah juniper can be up to 2/3 of its total mass, extending down up to 25 feet for water and having lateral roots stretching 100 feet or more away from the tree. Learning this, you would be also interested to know that the tree can rarely be taller than 30 feet. So that means that really a bunch of it is in the roots. It's actually a self-pruning tree where to make sure that it survives, it can cut off the nutrients to a branch so that the whole of the tree can survive. And another interesting fact is that their fruit, or the little berries you see, are actually tiny pine cones covered with a waxy coating for drought resistance.